Proof of Life, December 8th, 2021. I have learned through some wonderful comments left by you guys that is a pothos and that is a jade plant. So the more you know. I also learned that I was way overwatering the jade plant. Apparently it is a succulent, which of course I told Hannah and she's like, yes, I knew it was a succulent. Anyways, I have since made sure not to overwater it. So thank you. Thanks everyone who chimed in. It's nice to know these little friends have name. Well, they don't have names. I still haven't named them yet, but they have, I know what they are. So friendly faces when I come to the shop. So there you have it. Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Floss Tube. Happy day 8 of Flossmas Vlogmas. My name's Caroline. Welcome back. I'm starting off today with a donation that is overdue for me to figure out how much money I need to send into the Native Women's Association of Canada. So here in the shop we have a bag set, several different sizes, made from a Canada flag fabric, and $5 from each of those sets is directly donated to the Native Women's Association of Canada. I'll leave a link in the description box below to their organization. The last time I made my donation, I've just double checked my Instagram feed. I have 2 Instagram feeds. One of them is at Off the Grid Needlearts, which is, at the moment, it's been pretty quiet the last couple of months over there. The other one that's a little bit busier is the Evertotes page, and you can find that at Evertotes, and that has an S on the end of it. So June 3rd was the last time I made the donation, and I donated $215 Canadian on June 3rd. So I need to go into my system and figure out how many sets have sold since June 3rd, and then I will be right back. I've sold a couple sets in the last few days since I mentioned that I do this. A few of you have purchased sets, and so thank you very much. I'm gonna include your purchases in my total today, and then so just let me figure out how many sets have sold, and then I'll be right back, tell you the dollar figure. Okay, so I've done the count, and since June 3rd of this year, I've sold 13 sets of the maple leaf fabric. So that is a $65 Canadian donation. I'm gonna bump that up to $100. So I'm gonna go in and make my donation now, and then I'll post a screen cap so that you can see what we've done together. So thank you so much for your purchase of those maple leaf bags. Any Canadian themed print that's ever gonna go in the shop is gonna have the same deal. It's a great organization, and I'm happy to be able to donate a little bit of money their way. So again, that's the Native Women's Association of Canada. Link in the description box below. All right, so let's go make a donation. Cheers. Those first few sips, when it's nice and hot, fresh coffee, nothing like it. I have been remembering to bring milk to the workshop lately, so that's been good. I have said it before, I honestly don't mind drinking the coffee black when I don't have milk, but I do prefer it with a little bit of milk. All right, so since it's coffee break time, I thought I would just show you what I did last night. I was going to work on my penguins, and then I thought, no, I was really close to finishing, and you'll see, I still didn't quite finish it. But the inner border of the red berries chart. So there it is. See, I've always got at least one little open spot. I ran out of thread, so I didn't finish. Just hide my finger there. Bandaged finger. Yeah, so I ran out of floss, and I ran out of time. I had to get going to work this morning. I usually try to take a few minutes in the morning before I leave for work just to put in a length of floss if I have time, just to, I don't know, makes me feel like I've started my day the right way. So I put in a few stitches as well this morning as last night, but ran out of time. So I'm almost done. And the next thing that I'm gonna do, I know I should finish this corner, but I really wanna put the Merry Christmas in here. So I'm actually I'm gonna do that next. Because, you know, why not? We should stitch what you want. So my sock, oh, I know it's because I tend to say these things over and over, I forget. I let a couple of bolts of fabric knock themselves over in the cabinet over there. It scared me. Anyway, where was I? I'm stitching this piece 2 strands of floss over 2 on a 28 count Zweigart platinum linen, and the colors that I'm using are Leo&Roxy, Dark Sage, and Cheeky. Love it. So just so much fun to stitch that. Okay, my sock, a few more rows on the heel flap. Nothing really to write home about, but I think it's really good for me to see that, you know, every day consistent working on the same thing, you're going to see some progress. It just might take a little longer, but that's okay. For those of us who are short on time, I think it's good to, you know, take note of what you can actually accomplish with a couple minutes here and there. So my heel flap is coming along. That color, look at that color. It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. So this is the Timber Yarns Christmas holiday sock yarn from last year, 2020, and I call them my Smarty socks. I use the super simple sock pattern, super simple cuff down sock pattern from my friend Louise Patterson. You can find the chart on Ravelry. It's very basic. It's a basic vanilla sock pattern. I love just simple sock knitting. It's my favorite. The colors are blowing out just a little bit. That's a bit better, I think. So I always find the heel flap. For myself, these socks are for me. I tend to knit the heel flap a little longer than most people probably, because I have a very high arch in my foot. So the longer heel flap ensures a bigger gusset, which helps the sock fit over the saddle of the top of my foot. They fit better. So the heel flap always feels like it takes forever. And then gusset decreases also feels like those take forever as well. So I actually have knitting tutorial videos here on the channel in case you're new around these parts and you're interested. You can find them in the playlist section. I taught my very good friend Ginger Gerald. He is also recording daily Flossmas videos if you haven't checked him out yet. His very first one, day 1, he opened with some singing. So if you never heard Gerald sing, I recommend you check him out. He's got a beautiful voice, and he's a good friend. So I taught him how to knit, and now he's a much better knitter than me. And those videos we did sort of together for fun. I did them with my friend Louise, and she wrote the pattern for eventually down the tutorial list where we tackle socks. So that was a lot of fun. It was a long time ago that we did those videos, a few years ago now. So I don't even remember what year, but anyways, I had mentioned yesterday that I'd had a really interesting conversation with a viewer named Isabel, excuse me. Isabel bought some floss, bought some Leo&Roxy floss, and she had a question about something that had happened with the floss, and it was actually a really great question. And the question and the answer is not necessarily, it isn't just related to Leo&Roxy floss, it's a generalized floss, you know, conversation that we can have here. So I thought that I would read our email exchange both her question and my initial response. And what I would really love to see is if anybody's got anything further to add to this, to leave a comment in the comment field below, and then we can maybe add some more information to this discussion. So let me just find Isabel's initial question. Okay, so Isabel says, I am using your chalkboard thread for Black Sampler November. We were encouraged to stitch on something using black floss in November. I had to undo a little, so she had to frog some out, rip some out. And I was surprised that the thread opened up and broke. It left some marks on the fabric. Did I do anything wrong? Okay, so it's a great question, because I think many of us who've been stitching for a really long time have had this happen before, where the thread, even sometimes when we're stitching, the thread will sort of shred or break, or if we're frogging something out, sometimes it's just not salvageable for reusing, or it just kind of comes apart a little bit as we're frogging it. So this was my response to Isabel, and so I'm interested to know if you guys think that I'm pretty much on the right track here, or if you've got anything else to add to this conversation. I'd love to hear it. So it's a stitching. So I'm gonna skip through the initial preamble here, that when I was speaking to Isabel, because it doesn't matter to you, but I wonder if I have such an help. It's a stitching problem and not a thread problem. Well, yes and no, right? Because it's a little bit of both. Anyways, I'll continue. It's a great question. And in fact, if you're okay with it, I'd love to share your question on my floss tube with your permission. Firstly, you haven't done anything wrong. Thread is a spun fiber, and each material that is spun reacts differently under pressure. Imagine someone spinning yarn. That's exactly what thread is like. Millions of fibers spun together to create a strong length of thread or yarn or rope, twine, etc. The fibers also lie in a direction. If you look super closely at a length of cotton floss and try running it through your fingers in one direction and then the other, you can sort of detect that one direction will cause the little fibers to stand up out from the thread more than the other direction. When we undo our stitches, we leave behind tiny fibers on our fabric. If we manage to stitch it in one direction, then we're pulling it out in the opposite direction. All of this creates wear on the ply of the floss, and it will weaken. If it weakens enough in certain spots, it will sometimes shred or break, such as you described. Another big culprit to check when this happens with floss is your needle. The eye can become damaged over time, or you could have a defective needle that has an undetectable burr in the eye, which would be like a teeny bit of a substance that perhaps wasn't perfectly shaped or removed in the manufacture of the needle. And this can also wear against the floss and help it to shred. So how to help? Number one, try using a new needle. Sometimes a whole packet of needles can have a defect, so try from a new packet. Number two, use slightly shorter lengths of floss. Less pulling in and out of the fabric as you get to the end of your length ensures the best result. The higher the count of fabric, the shorter the length should be. Number three, when the thread is removed, check how it looks if trying to reuse it. Sometimes it might be better to just use a new length if it looks fuzzy at all, to make sure the sheen of the overdyed cotton is at its best. Number four, the marks left behind on the fabric are just tiny fibers from the thread and are, of course, much more noticeable when using a very dark thread on a light colored fabric. I can usually remove most of what is left behind with a lint roller or some tape wrapped around wrong side out around my fingers, gently pressing the fabric, which should remove nicely the fibers and stick to the tape. So I really hope this helps. Feel free to ask any more questions, etc. from me, from Caroline. So the other thing we sort of discussed, Isabel and I, after this sort of initial discussion, was that also, of course, because Isabel said when she removed it, it just completely fell apart. It wasn't even remotely reusable as she was removing it. And, you know, sort of her thought that fibers, you know, being over processed in the dyeing process also will add extra stress and, you know, wear and tear on the fiber of the cotton, which of course is also 100% true. It does. So all of these things combined, and sometimes that's just what happens. The thread will come apart. Some threads you'll get a you know, when I did the, let me go grab it and I'll show you which project I'm about to refer to, because I actually have it here. So hang on a second. So while I was stitching this piece, this one here, isn't it pretty? I know, I love this piece. This is a design by Alessandra Adelaide. I think it's just called Coffee. Oh, I just love it. I stitched this piece on a piece of 32 count even weave. Yeah. 32 count even weave, 1 strand of DMC floss over 1. So super, super, super teeny tiny. It's the smallest stitching I've ever done. Now I have lately been working on some 46 count. This was smaller, I think. Is this smaller? Yeah, this was smaller. For sure, smaller. And I remember when I was, the darker, there's 3 colors in here. So the coffee beans in the design are the darkest color. There's the medium brown and then the lightest brown that you can see in that swirl, the swirl of steam at the top. That floss right there, this color, it shredded, I'm gonna say every fourth or fifth length of floss I used, it would shred. And looking back, I think I was trying to use too long of a piece of thread, because it was a nice, there was a lot of stitching with one color, right? Like I could just use a continuous length of floss, so I would cut a longer length so that I wouldn't have to change my floss quite as often. And these motifs all in here were all much shorter, and so I didn't try to, you know, push the boundaries a little bit with my length of floss. And now looking back, I've been stitching a lot more than even when I did this, and knowing now what I know now about how floss reacts, I probably should have chosen to just use shorter lengths, and then I wouldn't have been frustrated with the shredding. So there's a few different reasons why this problem can happen, you know, and it's just one of those things, but it's kind of a really interesting thing to talk about. So I'm really hoping that a few of you out there have a little bit more to say about it, so that I can learn more as well. I'm always looking to broaden my knowledge base as well. So I hope you found that interesting, and I hope that if you know more about it, that again, please leave me a comment in the comment field below so that I can share it with everybody else as well. If we have somebody super knowledgeable chime in, I will pin their comment to the top so that others can see it if they want to stop by and leave me a comment as well. Okay, so that's it for my whips and my conversation with Isabel. The only thing I have left to do today is to pull a winner from the draw from yesterday for the JBW Designs chart. So this was a Sweet Bouquet, and it is Hope. And I'm also including 2 skeins of the Leo&Roxy floss in the Lucille colorway. Can you hear Luna? She is sound asleep. That is the soundtrack of my day while I'm here. She's never far away. She's always literally right beside me. If I go into another room, she follows me. And if I'm sitting at my sewing for more than 10 minutes, she falls asleep on her bed behind me. And it's so funny. It's really funny to me how dog snoring is much cuter than human snoring. Anyways, where was I? Right, okay, so 2 skeins of Lucille. I actually have, I'm gonna give the exact same thing away again today to another person. We're gonna choose a different word today. These, again, 24 hours. This is a short turnaround on this giveaway. It's a YouTube giveaway, so leave me a comment below. Let's pick a different word. Bouquet. Bouquet. Somehow in your comment, leave me the word bouquet. And that's B-O-U-Q-U-E-T. There's your bouquet. Oh, sorry, it didn't focus there, but there we go. A sweet bouquet. So again, let's turn the camera around and figure out who won yesterday's chart. So good luck. And the winner was Allison Ross. Congratulations, Allison. You are the winner of yesterday's giveaway of the JBW Designs chart and a couple skeins of Leo&Roxy floss. So everybody else, I've got quite a number of giveaways planned over the next couple weeks. I've got lots of charts to give away. So it's gonna be really fun to send them out in the post, make people happy. Okay, so that is, that's the giveaway. Oh, the only other thing I have to tell you about today is that we have finally, I have been wanting to do this for a couple of years now. We set up an email newsletter link, way to sign up for an email from Evertote. It took Hannah to do it because I've been meaning to do it for a couple of years and I did not have the time to devote to it. And frankly, more than the time, I didn't want to. I was worried that it would be really hard, and so I put it off. And anyways, Hannah did it in about 10 minutes. So it's, I tell you, it's nice having young people around here that understand how things work. So Hannah is going to do a quick little screen video tutorial of where to find how to sign up for the newsletter from Evertote. And I should just let you know, I am not planning on sending out a million emails. You might get 2 or 3 a month maximum. My sort of goal would be every other week, just to let you know what new things are going on in the shop. Normally what I've been doing up until now is I've been posting on our Instagram page at Evertotes when new things go in the shop, but having an email list allows me to spend a little bit more time occasionally writing a little bit more of a newsletter and sort of things like that. So I know Hannah was going to put together a little thing of how to find where the newsletter sign up is, and yeah, that's it. We'll end off today with that. I need to get back to some sewing now. It is, looks like the snow has tapered off for now, but maybe we'll get a little bit more. One can hope. One can hope. And that's it for me today. That's it for Wednesday. Other than that, I hope you're well. I hope that you're safe. And I hope that you have some crafting to occupy your time tonight. On that note, happy stitching, everybody. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Hello everyone, it's Hannah here. I'm just going to give you a very quick tutorial on how to subscribe to our new newsletter. So you can do this on any device. You can use any internet browser, whichever way you normally access our website, you can do it. So you don't need to do it specifically the way I'm doing it. I'm using my iPhone, but you can use this on any computer, any tablet, any internet device can allow you to subscribe to our newsletter. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to our website, www.evertote.ca, and then what you need to do is you need to scroll all the way down to the bottom of the website where we have our Get in Touch section, our quick links, our search, our social media links, and now our new newsletter sign up. So you'll find right here on the bottom right, it says sign up for our newsletter. You'll get product updates weekly or bi-weekly, and then just once a month we might send a bit of a longer email to you, just talking about things like what we talk in our floss tube, just in a written format to change it up a bit. It's not like we're going to be sending you 10 emails a day. It's not going to be any bit spammy at all. No sort of automatic emails. It's all going to be very like specifically curated and like very much reviewed before we send it. So you're not just going to be getting a very full inbox. So once you find this text box here, you just need to click where it says email address and you put in your email address. I have autofill on my phone, so it just fills it right in. And then you just got to hit sign up. It's going to reload the website. I was already signed up, so maybe I'll show you with my Evertote email, hannah@evertote.ca. Let's see, hit sign up. It's going to reload the website, and then it's going to say thank you for subscribing. So when you get this green box, you know that it's worked. If you don't get this green box, it means it did not work. If you have any issues with it, please let me know. I'm happy to get you signed up. You just got to send me an email and I can get you looked after. Other than that, it's really that simple, about just going to the bottom of the website, finding the box, and entering in your information. I hope you are all having a wonderful Wednesday, and I will be talking to you soon.